Hi, Judy the YouTube lawyer here with a quick video to show you a motion in limine filed today by Jack Campbell on behalf of the state of Florida in Donna Adelson's criminal case. As you know, Donna Adelson is accused of first-degree murder, solicitation, and conspiracy in the murder for hire of her former son-in-law, Florida State University law professor Dan Markel. This motion is very similar to the motions filed before Catherine Magbanua and Charlie Adelson's trial. These motions are filed in order to have the judge make rulings in advance on various evidentiary matters so that the trial doesn't have to be interrupted when one side objects to something, or so that the jury does not get unfairly influenced by hearing certain things. Having these topics ruled on in advance saves time and reduces the amount of time wasted during a trial. First, the state wants to keep out any mention of Luis Rivera's gang affiliation and other bad acts or crimes. For Charlie Adelson's trial, I believe that was excluded. Here, Donna Adelson's attorneys do not agree with the state. Off the top of my head, my guess is that the defense does want to be able to mention these things because they want to show that Donna was genuinely afraid of gang members like Luis Rivera, to the point that she would give money to Katie Magbanua and not contact the police when the undercover FBI agent demanded money from her. In this case, I will guess that Donna Adelson's attorneys will be allowed to ask Luis Rivera about his gang affiliation, but not any prior bad acts or other crimes. The bullets found at Premier Gym is irrelevant to the Markel case, and the defense doesn't object either to keeping that information out. Regarding Luis Rivera's mental health, the state wants to keep out any questioning about his past diagnoses. In the past, Rivera may have been diagnosed as bipolar or schizophrenic. I think one of the diagnoses was made when he was a child. Rivera's attorney Chuck Collins, who has been interviewed twice on this channel, did not recall Rivera having mental health issues. Either way, the state does not want this brought up because it would cause undue prejudice, and there was no evidence Rivera was having mental health issues around the time that Dan Markel's murder occurred. Donna Adelson's attorneys disagree. My guess is that the state will prevail on this issue. The next issue is that the state requests to have investigator Jason Newland to be exempt from sequestration. Witnesses in general are not supposed to be in the courtroom listening to the testimony of other witnesses. Since Newland was essential to the state's preparation of the case, the state wants him to be able to be present in the courtroom to assist the prosecution. The defense does not object, so it should be allowed. Next, the state wants to keep out any mention of domestic violence between Luis Rivera and the mother of his child, Jessica Rivera. This was kept out at Charlie Adelson's trial, and Donna Adelson's attorneys do not object, so this request should be granted. Next is use of headphones for the jurors, parties, court reporter, and the court to better hear audio recordings. The defense does not object. Dolce Vita and Matsuri restaurant recording transcripts. The state wants to be able to provide transcripts of the recordings to the jurors, but the defense objects. Based on what happened in Charlie Adelson's trial, I expect the judge to again rule that the jurors cannot be shown transcripts, but instead will have to listen to the recordings themselves and decipher the words on their own. That makes sense to me, because if a recording's audio is not good, there is a greater chance that whoever is transcribing it could make mistakes. For example, I recall that the Dolce Vita transcript had Charlie saying, "Noah's birthday is coming up," but when I heard it myself, it sounded to me that he had really said, "Someone's birthday is coming up." The defense does not object to transcripts of the wiretapped calls, though, as long as no edits, underlines, or highlights are made. Finally, the state wants to keep out statements made to elicit sympathy for the defendant. The state mentions Donna Adelson's motion for bond last year, where her attorney brought up the conditions Donna was dealing with at the Leon County Jail. The state wants to make sure there are no attempts to elicit sympathy for Donna Adelson. The defense objects. My guess is that the state's request on this issue will be granted. I'm getting over a cold, so I hope you enjoy this reading thanks to Natural Reader. Please be sure to watch Fancy Fiction's latest live stream video, where she played several wiretapped calls between Catherine Magbanua and Sigfrido Garcia's then attorney James Lewis. Thank you all for caring about justice for Dan.